World War I, a conflict so massive that it reshaped the world forever. But what were its origins? What set this catastrophic chain of events into motion? Join me as we delve into the intricate web of alliances, the simmering nationalism, the tangled imperial ambitions, and the unforeseen consequences that ignited the Great War. Our journey begins with an event that sent shockwaves across Europe, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. On June 28, 1914, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire met his demise in Sarajevo. This event would prove to be the spark that ignited the powder keg of Europe, setting the stage for one of the deadliest conflicts in history. As news of the assassination reached Vienna, a complex web of political, economic, and military factors began to converge, ultimately leading to the outbreak of World War I. Now let us explore the complex web of alliances that played a pivotal role in shaping the trajectory of Europe in the early 20th century. These alliances not only defined the continent's political landscape, but also served as a catalyst for the outbreak of World War I. The Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente were the dominant power blocks that dominated European politics in the years leading up to the Great War. The Triple Alliance, also known as the Central Powers, consisted of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, while the Triple Entente comprised France, Russia, and Great Britain. These alliances were primarily formed as a means of maintaining a balance of power and protecting each nation's interests. However, they would soon evolve into a complex web of obligations and commitments that had far-reaching consequences. At the heart of these alliances lay a network of treaties and agreements that bound these nations together. The Franco-Prussian alliance, for instance, was forged in the face of growing German power, creating a united front against potential threats. Similarly, the Anglo-French cordial understanding sought to mend historical rifts between Britain and France, fostering cooperation in areas of mutual concern. These alliances, however, were not static entities, but rather dynamic partnerships that shifted and evolved in response to changing circumstances. For example, Italy's decision to join the Triple Alliance was motivated by a desire for territorial expansion, while Belgium's neutrality in the face of German aggression showcased the limitations of these alliances. As the 20th century dawned, Europe found itself divided along these lines, caught in a delicate balance of power. This intricate web of alliances would soon play a pivotal role in shaping the fate of the continent as the tensions escalated and the powder keg of Europe was ready to explode. Before we move forward, please take a moment to subscribe. If you enjoy our videos, your support means a lot. Now let's continue. In the years leading up to World War I, Europe was gripped by a wave of militarism that had profound implications for the continent's stability. This fervent belief in the necessity of maintaining a strong military not only shaped national policies but also contributed to the outbreak of war. One of the most prominent aspects of militarism was the fierce competition among European powers to build up their armed forces. Nations like Germany and Britain embarked on a naval arms race, each striving to outdo the other in terms of size and power. This intense competition created an atmosphere of suspicion and rivalry, making diplomacy more challenging and increasing the likelihood of conflict. Moreover, militarism glorified war itself, often portraying it as a positive and even necessary endeavor. This glorification of war led to a sense of inevitability about the coming conflict, as if war was seen as an eventuality that could not be avoided. It also contributed to a climate of public opinion that was more accepting of the use of force to settle disputes. As the decade progressed, this combination of military buildup, naval competition, and the glorification of war created a powder keg of tension and hostility in Europe. The assassination of Archduke Ferdinand would be the spark that ignited this tinderbox, leading to the outbreak of World War I. Imperialism refers to the policy or ideology of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, European powers actively engaged in a scramble for colonies around the world. This competition for territories fueled rivalries and tensions as nations sought to acquire resources, expand their markets, and gain prestige on the global stage. The French had already lost much of their colonial holdings during the 7 Years' War and the American Revolution. By the early 20th century, the British Empire encompassed a vast expanse of territory around the globe, including significant portions of Africa and Asia. Germany, seeking to emulate its rivals, began to challenge British dominance at sea, leading to a naval arms race that heightened tensions between the two nations. Moreover, the French still harbored resentment over the loss of Alsace-Lorraine to Germany in 1871, viewing it as a territorial injustice that needed to be rectified. This combination of colonial rivalries, territorial disputes, and the relentless pursuit of power created a climate of mistrust and hostility among the European nations. As the 20th century approached, this imperial competition became a significant factor contributing to the outbreak of World War I. As we approach the eve of World War I, let's examine the concept of nationalism and its impact on the political dynamics of Europe. Nationalism, with its emphasis on national identity and self-determination, had a profound influence on the actions of countries in the years leading up to the conflict. First and foremost, nationalism fostered a sense of unity and solidarity among populations. This growing sense of national consciousness inspired people to identify with their respective countries and to be willing to defend their interests, sometimes at any cost. Take, for example, the rise of Russian nationalism, which emphasized the distinct cultural and historical heritage of the Russian people under the leadership of the House of Romanov. Similarly, German nationalism celebrated the shared language, culture, and traditions of the German-speaking peoples, uniting them in a common national identity. Furthermore, nationalism often went hand in hand with a desire for national independence and self-determination. Many countries, particularly those subjected to foreign rule or living within multi-ethnic empires, yearned for the freedom to chart their own course, free from external constraints. For instance, the Serbs in Austria-Hungary's multi-ethnic empire developed a strong nationalist movement advocating for their own independent state. This desire for self-determination would play a crucial role in the outbreak of World War I. As the 20th century approached, the wave of nationalism sweeping across Europe created a volatile mix of emotions, sentiments that would soon erupt into one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. As we stand on the precipice of World War I, it's essential to understand the complex web of events that unfolded in 1914, ultimately leading to the outbreak of war. The year 1914 was a pivotal moment in European history, marked by a series of interconnected events that set in motion the catastrophic chain of events culminating in World War I. The first domino in this sequence was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. On June 28, 1914, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire met his demise in Sarajevo. This event immediately sent shockwaves throughout Europe, catching the attention of major players such as Germany, France, Russia, and Britain. In the aftermath of the assassination, Austria-Hungary, backed by Germany, prepared for intervention in Bosnia. This move aimed to quell any potential unrest and safeguard the empire's interests. Meanwhile, as diplomatic discussions were underway, a crucial decision was made by the French government. They opted not to immediately jump to the defense of Belgium in the event of a German invasion. This choice was influenced by Belgium's perceived strategic value and the potential costs involved in defending it. Concurrently, as the political landscape shifted, Germany found itself increasingly isolated diplomatically. This isolation was driven in part by the strained relationships with France, Russia, and Britain over issues such as colonial rivalries and the growing power of Germany itself. Germany's decision to declare war on Belgium, France, and Russia marked a decisive step towards open conflict. This declaration shattered the fragile diplomatic efforts and plunged Europe into a state of chaos and uncertainty. As the continent grappled with the implications of this momentous decision, the stage was set for the outbreak of World War I. In the opening stages of World War I, as the German Empire prepared for military intervention in Belgium, a critical question arose regarding their right to do so. The legality of Germany's actions would have significant repercussions for the international community and the future of the war itself. The debate centered around the concept of sovereignty and the principles of international law. As Germany's troops amassed at the border, the Belgian government and many international observers questioned the justification for such a massive military buildup. They argued that Germany's actions were in violation of Belgium's sovereignty and were a clear breach of international law. Germany, on the other hand, contended that their actions were justified based on strategic considerations and the need to protect its interests. They claimed that the rapid deployment of their troops was a necessary measure to ensure their military superiority and prevent potential threats from Belgium. As the situation escalated, a diplomatic crisis ensued, with Belgium demanding an explanation and condemnation of Germany's actions. The international community was deeply divided, with some nations supporting Belgium's right to sovereignty while others sympathized with Germany's security concerns. Caught in the middle was Belgium, a small nation striving to maintain its independence and protect its citizens in the face of a looming German invasion. The coming days would reveal the true extent of Germany's intentions and the tragic fate that awaited Belgium as the Great War engulfed Europe. And there you have it, a comprehensive exploration of what sparked the flames of World War I. From the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand to the complex web of alliances, militarism, imperialism, and nationalism that gripped Europe in the early 20th century. Each event and ideology played a crucial role in unraveling the intricate tapestry of causes that led to this catastrophic conflict. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, please do not hesitate to give us a thumbs up and share it with those who might find interest in this historical account. Your support truly means a lot to us and motivates us to continue bringing you captivating content. If you're eager to dive deeper into the fascinating world of history, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more intriguing content coming your way. Once again, thank you for watching. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and never stop exploring the wonders of our shared past.